What is up, you guys? Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thank you for checking out Mad Hatter YouTube. Hopefully you can go and check out Mad Hatter on Instagram as well. That's where I do a lot of behind the scenes and swatches and fun little reels and things like that. So I would love if you came and checked it out, and let's be social media friends. But yeah, today I'm just gonna show you a little get ready with me tutorial style makeup on camera. I thought it would be fun. I haven't done that before, so I thought I would test out a new little setup and see how that looks. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more looks, what colors, what are you interested in seeing. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and let's get into the video. But yeah, today, since I'm doing fuller coverage, whenever I'm doing like camera stuff or I know I need my makeup to last, I use this Master Prime for blurring and redness, because as you can see, a lot of my skin issues are more like redness and like hormonal pigmentation kind of stuff. So this kind of helps with that. I do notice that, I don't notice it like completely eliminates the redness, but it definitely, just use like a little bit and rub it together. It definitely does help my makeup last longer and look a bit smoother in photos. So I kind of just concentrate on like the T-zone and then my cheeks a bit where I have that redness, rosacea. That's not something I ever had until after I got pregnant and had my kid. Then all of a sudden this is my skin now. So yeah, just kind of gently, and I try not to use a lot. I notice with really any primer that I try out, a little goes a long way, and too much can kind of hurt rather than help. And then I'm going to go ahead and start with a very light, this is in Buff Tint. This is discontinued now, and I'm not sure what the equivalent was. I actually wrote Flower Beauty a while back and said, hey, you guys discontinued the EE, which is I think Erase Everything. What is your newest product that's similar, or is there anything? Because this stuff is amazing. It's just like this really light foundation, but it's so versatile. It's sort of like, it just blurs everything without being like too full coverage. I noticed it can go over my foundation, it can go under my foundation, so it's similar to what I imagine like a BB cream is, or even like a CC cream, but I'm just doing a really light. Normally I would only kind of cover those red areas and just call it a day for my light coverage days. Today I'm kind of going to do a little bit more full coverage with this, and then I'm going to do the actual foundation, which is this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. My sister recommended this to me, and I've been using it ever since. I kind of love it for days I want full coverage, which today on camera I do. So I'm just taking one of these nice flat, it's semi-tapered brushes, and I'm just kind of like gently kind of patting it in with a slight pull. And I love brushes like this for my foundation. I do have drier skin, so when I'm not just using my fingers to warm up the product and do it, I do like brushes like this. And I'll use anywhere from like this one to like a larger one. I just got one from Juvia's Place that's like 3 times the size, and it's pretty awesome too. However, because it is so big, it'll kind of over disperse the product. And when I want to do more like detailing and I'm like trying to cover up these very specific areas, this lower version is nice. Just gonna apply a little bit more on my cheeks and my forehead where I need to cover up that redness. Basically, I just like to cover my red areas. Even on a light foundation day, I just like spot correct those areas. So that way I can place my blush further out and almost move where my redness is. Next, take, this is a 24-hour foundation. I've never tested it for that much. This is actually really like crazy full coverage for me and my preferences, my taste. So I just dot just the tiniest bit. This is a lot for me. And I don't like full coverage foundation for me. I don't like to completely just mask my whole face. I really try to focus here and blend it out and almost not really have product anywhere, which is why this is nice. So that way, you know, there is some product there and I don't get skipping when I start adding my powders. But I'm just gonna lightly, you know, tap where I want to apply this full coverageness. And it's really just the center of my face. And then I'll slowly start to kind of move it out, where I'm going to be putting a lot more powder product, like for contour. Again, I'm kind of just tapping product into my skin because I have that dry skin, and then I'm gently kind of blurring it out. I haven't done a lot on the eyelids because I do like to use my Maybelline concealer for that, and I'm going to do that next. So for me, when I use my concealer, where is she? It's not so much for under eye circles. I have like creasing, so there's not a whole lot I can do, and typically the more product I try to add to cover that, the more it is. So I just do a little bit more for brightening. And then I also like to prep my lids with this. And I find that when I put powder over this, I don't set it. It doesn't dry out or get like crepey when I start applying my shadows. And it is a little bit of a lighter color, so it does kind of prep my eyes for eyeshadow and make it nice and bright. And it also makes it stay put. I'm just making sure I get inside here, and I can kind of blend it here if I need to, just to make sure I don't have any abrupt stopping of the product, so I don't get any weird skipping or anything. And I'm just very lightly tapping it in with my finger, kind of moving it into the creases as I need to. But that's it. Like, I just do a little here and a little here. Sometimes I'll full shebang. Sometimes I will kind of do the triangle effect. Today my skin's a little bit drier. Weather changes back and forth here. It's getting cooler, warmer, cooler. So I'm going to avoid product in this area as much as possible. Just trying to cancel out any color I don't want. Okay, so that's it for the foundation. Here's what I used. And then I'm moving on. I'm going to use my favorite contour palette. I'm pretty sure this is still available, and this is in the lightest one. This is the NYX. I just love the way these powders blend out. I just like mix all of these. And this is my second palette. I've actually gone through one before and a few replacements. You can buy them, or at least used to be able to buy them individually. So yeah, I really love these. Just a great like affordable bronzing and sculpting palette, and I just find that anything that I try to use that's higher end works as well or not as well as these. They really build up and blend out so easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and start in this like cool shade. Mix it here. I usually mix these three, a little bit warmer. And then I'm gonna concentrate right out here. And this is just sort of my bronzing effect, if you will. I like to warm up the edges of the face. And I really stay focused out here because it's very easy for me to go crazy and then start, bringing too much to the center of my face, and I don't want to do that quite yet. I like to build up slowly. So now I'm just tapping into these two, and I usually just use this one as like a blush. I just like that warm brown tone. I do like blush, but I tend not to really want it to be on me. I tend to like that kind of more bronze or warm look. I don't like the pinks and the purples, and sometimes I'll wear a peach, but I'm just not into blush as some of the other face products. So again, just right here at the top. For you and your face shape, where you place it might be just a little bit different than me. I like to play around, and I've noticed, a little higher up works nicely for the shape of my face. And nothing is on the brush just yet. Like, I haven't picked up more color. I'm just sort of running that along my chin and blending just the whole perimeter of my face. I will kind of sometimes get my nose too. So next, for a little bit of sculpting, just because I like to contour, again, I don't use a whole lot of blush, but I do like to contour, I'm going to take a firmer kind of tapered brush like this. This is an e.l.f. angled blush brush, and I'm going to very gently tap it in this deepest shade. And then right in the hollow of my cheeks, and again staying further back, and then eventually as I blend out it will come forward. And I'm just going to contour. I don't want a harsh line, so I do kind of work slowly, and I'm pushing out in one direction and picking up now in one direction. And then once a lot of the product is off the brush, then I will kind of start going back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and do kind of up here, sculpt my forehead a little bit. I'm kind of dipping into this yellowy tone and the slider tone, and I'm just setting under my eyes. And I'm like, I always sweat kind of around my mouth and like under my nose, so that's usually where I set. Okay, and then this one has like a nice little pearl finish to it, and I like to go up here. It adds a really nice like natural sheen, and sometimes when I'm doing like a no makeup day, I will just use this and a powder with this like sheen. So this is the Brow Stylist Definer from L'Oreal. And then I'll be following it up with the Boss Brow Gel from ColourPop in the shade Dark Brown, and I love this combo. I'm going to use the spoolie, just kind of comb out my brows, comb them up. And this, sometimes I find that I need to take some scissors and trim them a little bit, so if I need to do that, I will. And then I try not to go in really heavy. This is just like a nice fine little point, but I typically focus on like the arch of my brows. This eyebrow needs like a lot under, and this one needs a lot above to kind of bring them, you know, make them sisters again, or even hopefully cousins. So yeah, I try not to go too crazy. I just very gently kind of flick the product into my brows. I do like to have a little bit more of an angled look on most days. Sometimes I will go for like thick, full, round brows, and that's fun, but typically this is what I do. And you can really build up this product. And then here, again, I have to go under to kind of make these the same shape. Do a little bit here to give it more of that pointed arch. If you find you went a little crazy, the spoolie kind of helps diffuse the product a little bit. There, so something like that. I'll go ahead and do a little bit more up here. And then the other thing I like to do with the pencil is I will just do like a very gentle line here, and I feel like it just very gently defines the brow. So I did the line on the bottom, and then just very gently here and there, I'm going to add some line, tailor it in, and I'm not drawing completely from the top or the bottom to the top of my brow. I'm kind of halfway maybe. There. So something like that. And then I will do the brow gel, which also has a tint of color to it. This is my favorite brow gel. It's really nice, and ColourPop's been sold out of my color for a while now, and I'm starting to run out, so time to pick up some new. I'm just kind of brushing upwards, and then here I kind of brush down just to tame the hairs. This is nice because it has a tint of color, and it does provide a little bit of texture if your brows are sparse, if you don't have a lot of hair. But I don't feel like it adds too much product. It doesn't block in, you know, your brows too much. I feel like you get a really nice amount of control. So there, I'll do something like that today. I should have done this before my powders, but there's this really pretty cream cheek color. This is Birthday Suit. It's a super shock cheek from ColourPop. I do have a lot of ColourPop in my collection. I just I think the quality and the price is just right for me. And again, I find it hard to leave when I find something that's, you know, really great quality, really great price. Their customer service and shipping is always really fast, at least for me and where I live. So yeah, typically I will do this when all my products are still wet. I haven't used her in a while and I'm hitting pan, so I thought I would use her today. So yeah, it just adds like a nice little bit of pink to the cheeks, and I kind of do it just more on the apple of my cheeks rather than all the way out. To set the whole face, I'm going to be using this Flower Beauty Satin Finishing Powder. Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. This packaging's a little crazy, but the product is really nice. I actually can't really tell when I'm running out of it. I dump it here in the lid usually. And then I like to take kind of a bigger brush and I will pack it in there, tap, and then I will dust this all over my face. And I am kind of avoiding my eyelids right now because I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow next. I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to do today. I don't know what color I want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to do a green. Very lightly setting everything. And this helps keep things from moving around. I feel like it also blurs anything I had going on as far as my contour and my blush. So it also has that satin finish, which is kind of nice. It's not too like shiny, but it does just kind of give like a little luminosity to the skin, which I like. And since I have dry skin, when I'm wearing powders, especially for on camera, that is a nice effect for me. And do the lips. Today I'm going to be wearing Blankety by MAC, which is an amplified lipstick. It's kind of just like a peachy nude, maybe even a little bit on that like beigey side. And this is nice because it isn't fully matte. It's kind of, it reminds me of a cream sheen. I'm not really sure what the difference between the amplified and the cream sheen are. And then this tiny, tiny little guy is Curvy from ColourPop. It's my favorite lip liner, another one that they've been out of, and I'm waiting for them to restock because I need it. But it's my favorite color lip liner. And typically I do my lip liner after I do my lipstick, just because for me, I like to more define the edges of my lips than fully like line them. And I very easily get out of control with overlining my lips. I don't even mean to, or I'm not trying to do that effect. It just sort of happens. Get a little excited with it, I guess. So for me, that's just like a little definition. Sometimes I'll do my Cupid's bow a little bit more rounded, and sometimes I do a little more pointy. Lately, I've been going for a little bit more pointy. Cool. So it's lips. And then last, let's get to the eyeshadow. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think I want to, going through my singles. I pretty much only work out of singles. I have a couple of palettes, but for the most part, I'm going to dip into, I think, like my greens today. I'm thinking kind of like maybe these two here. Okay, so I'm going to start with Dirty Martini. This is from Makeup Geek, and I love this color. And I think I'm going to use this e.l.f. professional eyeshadow brush. It's just like a nice flat, dense brush, and I think I'm going to pack this kind of in the shape of like a halo eye. I think I'm going to do it in the crease, and then the inner and outer, and then I will do something shimmery in the middle. So I am just packing, tapping it in, kind of shaping out how I'm going to do the look. So now that I've placed it on the lid, I'm going to very gently kind of draw. I'm going to go a little bit higher than the actual lid shape. And I'm being very, very light, just so I can draw in that shape. Make sure I don't take too much product on the brush. This one I need to go above the crease just a little bit to make it match this one. I'm going to lightly draw to tilting your head back if you have hooded eyes or slightly folded lids helps for me. Just very gently, very softly. If you're kind of heavy-handed like I tend to be, move your hand further down the brush. It just kind of forces you to be a little bit less pressure. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm trying to decide between doing something like this color, this humid I showed you before. I really think I'm gonna go in with Tea Garden. Let me just show you a swatch because she's so pretty. Kind of looks like an antique gold, but it's got this like tealy green reflectivity, and even in the light, almost like a red base. It's a really cool color. It's one of my favorite singles. So I'm just gonna use my finger and tap that blank space in the center of my lid. And I'm more focusing on that empty space right now, and then with the brush, I will blend it into that green. And a lot of times with a look like this is kind of halo effect. I do have to go like back and forth between the two lid colors. Sometimes as you're applying your second color, your first color can get diluted a little bit. So when you go back in, that's also how you get a nice blend, is going back and forth. So just take your time. If I wasn't doing makeup on camera, I would probably just smear this on the lid and be done. Maybe even take a soft shade to blend it out, but I have done this just as an all-over lid. Okay, that's it, you guys. That's the finished look. I just went and zhuzhed up my hair a little bit, and I also went ahead and just tapped on a little of my favorite yellow glitter off camera because it's not technically eye safe, but I just wanted to add a little something. I got a little carried away when I started doing my hair, but that's Palooza, which is this pressed glitter from ColourPop in their Honey palette. So I just tapped that on the eyes. But yeah, that's the finished look for today, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.